ಲಿಂಕ್ ಡ್ಯಾಡಿ ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ರ ಅಂತ
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ದಾಯ್ತು.
ಯಾವಾಗ ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ರು?
ನೆನ್ನೆನೆ. Welcome everyone, and good afternoon for attending this seminar. We are exactly at 12:55 right now, and I think in any time we may start. We are just waiting for other set of people to join us. Let me make it as soon as possible to start this. It's 12:55, 1 o'clock we will start this seminar. So hope everybody is ready, available. We have about 300 plus students, I think approximately, have already joined. About 230 students have joined, I'm sorry. Let's all wait for another 4 minutes. It's exactly 12:56. Hope everybody is at home, everybody is safe. Otherwise, it was a quick discussion I wanted to have. So every second there are a few people joining. And before I start, I would just like to thank each and every one of you to be a part of this. And there had been several people across my family, friends, and your family, friends who forwarded this message in the last 4 to 5 days. And it has reached about 4,000 students across the country. And we had about 1,500 plus registrations. Generally 20% is the turnaround rate. And I'm expecting around at least 400 students at least to be a part of this. It's so unfortunate, especially for the students community. It's a very important time to take a career decision, and it hadn't happened, I know, because of the lockdown situation. A lot of students are fundamentally confused about what to do. And generally when students have these kinds of confusion, they reach out to their teachers or principal at school to rectify a few career related problems, but that's not the case right now. They wanted external help, and that is what was running in my mind. And I thought, let me take this as an opportunity to address this query and help students as much as possible. So we would have to start another just 2 minutes time. It's 12:58. In this meantime, I would also like to thank Mr. Raghu from Bangalore, who took this initiative of putting this information, whatever you must have seen. You've got a link, I think. Everybody must have got a link. So he was one important person behind this, Mr. Raghu, where he could send and pass on this information to so many people out there, and that without him, it couldn't have been this possible or feasible for it to happen. Also, other people from the community has also forwarded this message. Thank you, everybody. And there's a lot of hi, sir, and everything. Hi to everybody who has given. And so we'll start it in just 1 more minute. We're exactly at 12:59. Okay. I think it's time to start. And however, thank you everybody once again for participating. So let's start the session. Good afternoon, one and all. My name is Ajay Kishan, and my native is Krishnagiri, but I'm fundamentally from Bangalore. So this session is to help students anyway from class 9 to 12, where we can help them take informed career decision. Now, in our country, it was to be understood exactly 10 or 15 years back. There were hardly few careers to choose from. It wasn't that confusing. They were careers that you can count out with your fingers and you would be able to choose a career. Or when you talk to your cousin or your friend who had been successful in life, we generally used to go and talk to them, ask them some feedback. Sometimes schools help students to choose a career, and etc. But in today's time, we have so many career options to choose from. I know it's quite daunting or it's quite confusing to choose a career after class 10 and 12. To give you some numbers, India currently has about 600 career choices to choose from. It can be more, but definitely not less. To choose a career among 600 career choice to choose from is definitely a challenge to understand what might be the right or wrong choice, isn't it? So I have some dozens of information today. I would say few are advices, few are scientific reasons, few are questions which I wanted to place in front of you, so that by choosing them, you will be able to decide a right career choice. So when I forwarded the message to everybody, you had to click a link and register for the seminar. In that link, in that application form, I had lots of questions that I had asked. What is your exact career query? What is your query at all? So was your query that you are not able to choose, or the query is confusion, or the query is you and your parents have different opinion to choose a career and you're not able to arrive at it? Few people had a query of, sir, I wanted some support on understanding the scope of any career that I want to choose. Or in other words, which career may keep me happy and make good money in the future? This way, there were multiple responses that had received from the application form that I filled. So I thought all these queries must be addressed fundamentally to to help students check themselves what may be the great career choice. Now, my dear students, let me tell you something. Okay. Uh, First and most important thing that you need to understand while choosing your career, what most of the students don't do is not understanding yourself. Understanding yourself is one of the very, very, very important requirement of choosing a career. Unfortunately, in today's time, choosing a career has been taking a different form altogether. Most of us rely on your neighbors or a cousin who may be very successful in your family, or anybody. You just go ask them few questions and take a career. Or the other way of how people choose a career is only taking scope as an important angle of choosing a career, but that will definitely harm your career for sure, because choosing a career needs a lot of scientific involvement as well. And considering today's technology and availability, you would definitely be able to choose a career scientifically. So let's get into few understanding of how people have been choosing careers in a country like India. Students, I would first start telling you with the most and my favorite quote while people choose a career. And this particular quote has changed a lot of people's life. And it is very apt for a 2020 generation today. So we say you don't choose or you don't chance upon a great career, you only make them happen, which means it gives a lot of information. You just can't choose a career and think that you're successful. And you have to ensure you make that career work for you. you make that career happening for you. And how do you do that? By taking a very informed career decision. My name is Ajay. I'm going to spend a lot of time with you for the next 1 hour to help you make an important career decision, which should be informed and which should be scientific. The topics that we're going to cover today, we're going to understand some facts and figures about the current career situation. Then common mistakes while choosing a career. What do parents and students do while choosing a career? What are the common mistakes they do? Then how to make an informed career decision. And very important section of this presentation is going to be food for thoughts. I'm going to ask you a few questions. You don't have to reply, and there's no possibility to reply, but you can reply sitting back at home. Let me try to listen to you sitting here. So food for thoughts. I want you to answer a few questions. I'm going to answer you. Then what careers are in trend? And assessment and information. Okay, how well can you assess yourself, and how can I help you, giving you some career information so that you'll be able to go and choose one among them scientifically. The most important thing is facts and figures, my favorite area. I start the session whenever I do in schools and colleges or anywhere. I start with these three things. One of the most popular read blogs or something of that sort I can say is this. How many times have you spoken to an elder and realized that their job is quite sharp contrast to their vocation? You must have spoken to an uncle of yours or a neighbor of yours, a school senior, or you may have a senior friend where they say, I'm not currently satisfied or happy with the job that I'm currently working on. The problem could be the satisfaction of the job. The problem could be the money that you're making. The problem could be anything. But for some reason, there is no satisfaction in the job that they are doing. Most of the people are not. And there is a survey, the Gallup survey says 13% of people worldwide actually like going to work. And guys, do you think 13% is a great number? It's such a bad number. 13% of people only in the world, according to the survey, says that they like going to a job and working the job. And it is not at all a great number. The happiness index is impossibly crazy here. We all know LinkedIn. It's a professional platform. It's a social platform which is for professionals, where the LinkedIn survey says out of 8,000 professionals, when they took a survey, they said 78.06% of adults don't end up pursuing their childhood dreams, and how bad that is. So only about 20+% of people have thought, I want to become something in life, and they have achieved their dreams and goals and they're pursuing something. That's not a great number at all. Only 78% of adults end up pursuing, they don't end up pursuing the childhood dreams. It's a very, very bad number. So how are we going to address this? And let's go back and ask what made these two surveys say that, right? It's because these three common mistakes, what you see in front of you on the screen is the three common mistakes what people do while choosing a career is this. And this has to go into a student's mind very, very strictly. My dear children, whoever is watching this, your friend chose a career and you choosing a career are two different things. You cannot choose a career because your friend chose a career. Choose the right. So you need to understand the way how your friend thinks, the way why your friend must have chosen the career should be totally different from why you are choosing a career. Your friends will not go away anywhere. They will not run away from you. You can still be in touch with them, because when I used to personally talk to students, they say, I want to stay with my friend. You know, your age is like that. You want to be in the friend circle. You like being with your friends and all of that. But choosing a career decision cannot be based on what career your friends chose for you or chose for themselves. That cannot be the answer for you too, right? So peer influence, your friends' influence is a huge mistake students are committing today to choose a career for themselves. And that cannot be so. It is definitely different. You should choose a career based on your strengths, your weaknesses, your capacity, your interest in everything. The second most important reason, scope only based career decision. If you see, I've underlined the word called only, because most of the parents and students commit these mistakes together. One of the most big information they consider is only scope. If scope is there, I want my daughter to do it. If scope is there, I want my son to do it. But if scope is the only requirement, the definitely answer is no, it's not. It's There's multiple more facets of information that you need to keep in your mind while choosing a career, and scope is not the only one. I don't want to name any career, but you must have seen few careers which became like a boom in the 15 years back. And right now you must be seeing those careers are not in the trend at all. That's because you chose a career which has scope, and scope, every career, most of the careers have scope. How well you perform in it, how well you are dynamic to add skill set to your careers makes a lot of difference than just considering the scope. And the third important information is for parents. Parents fundamentally think that the careers that you keep in your mind is what your child should also perform, and it is not logical at all, my dear parents. Please try to understand. When you were in your college, when you were in your school, are not the same careers what is required right now. Okay, so when you study, there were few careers which may be good and need not be same necessity that even the same careers are good even in today's point of time. So careers are changing, and your children are more informed than you are. Okay, and sometimes people come back saying that I'm an engineer, I want my son to become an engineer. I'm a doctor, I want my son to become a doctor. And all of this is what is this a game to choose something like that? It is not so, isn't it? When I told your children you should not choose a career what your friend did not choose, it applies for you too. It is not your child cannot fulfill your dreams, they should fulfill their dreams. And you need to keep this in mind. Parents pressure is also one of the biggest points of concern that we see in the career decision making platform. Ensure you keep this in your mind, right? Now, in that case, you can ask me, okay, let me not force my son or daughter, let me not ask them to follow their friends. And what is the way that I can choose a career? What is a scientific way, or what is a way where there is some logic behind to put in to ensure a career can be taken from you? So if you remember, I told you about something in the very beginning of the session where I told you that know yourself. Know yourself is a very, very important area while you think that you should be choosing your career. So when you want to know yourself, there are three things that you need to know yourself, right? There are three things that you need to know yourself. What you see in front of your screen are the three things that you need to know yourself. The first thing is aptitude. The second thing is personality. And third thing is interest. And there are other facets like intelligence and everything. But these three parameters are the most fundamental parameters that you need to keep in your mind while choosing a career. So what does this aptitude, personality, and interest mean? You need to know that. So aptitude means an innate or acquired capacity to perform something, an ability that you have within you. Either you have learned it over a period of time or it is very natural in you, where without putting any extra effort, you will be able to perform a certain activity is nothing but aptitude. Ability to do something so quite easily is aptitude, where you don't want a second or a third party to influence or teach you always or something to do like that. It just naturally comes to you. Okay, but it is some kind of an intelligence also, I can say, where that is working for you so naturally, that's aptitude. Few people may be good in verbal aptitude, few people may be good in numerical aptitude, few people may be good in mechanical aptitude, few may be good in logical reasoning, few may be anything. But I'm going to explain about these aptitudes in the later part of this presentation. But aptitude is a very important area. It talks about your ability to do a certain thing. When it comes to personality, it's about the combination of characteristics of the qualities a person performs in a distinctive, it's all about distinctive character of a human being, I can say. So my character as a human being may be different from your character. And this is not the character where I'm your good character, bad character. That's not what I'm trying to say. Everybody has a different character. For example, few people may not have the ability or the comfort. It's not ability, I'm sorry, but comfort to go and shake hands with somebody on the very first meeting they met. There is a difference between an introvert and extrovert, for example, right? So when a problem comes in front of a person, how do they deal that problem? Do they become anxious or are they bold person? So like those multiple characteristics of yours will also influence choosing the right career, right? And the third important thing is interest. What I like doing is a very, very, very important important aspect of choosing a career. You cannot go and work into a career that will not really interest you. So the feeling of wanting to know or learn more about that subject is very important. Now, you must have seen your son or daughter or students who are listening where your parents, your friends, or your teachers never forced you to do a certain activity, but you did that activity on your own, and don't tell you're good in gaming. Okay, so it's not about playing games or always being on YouTube is not a great skill, but certain kind of skill that certain kind of activity that demands some skill, and that particular skill you always want to do yourself without anybody forcing you. There's always that hunger or the wanting to know more about it is interest. That's how you understand your interest. Maybe few people are great in art, they can sketch well, that's maybe your interest. Few people may be very good in organizing things, where you keep your things very clean, you keep things one after the other, your things are very clean and neat, you're very organized in your behavior. That can be one kind of an interest. And one more interest, you like helping people maybe, right? You always help your parents and you always help your friends, maybe your community. So interest can be even helping somebody, you know. So these kind of things are very important. For few people I've seen, if you give them your child, if at all you have given your child a car, a remote car, maybe when he was a kid, there were few kids who used to play it, used to keep it inside the same box and go and keep it in the cupboard. That's one kind of a character. But there's another character who removes things and sees how things work in the car. They may break open the toy and see how did this toy work. So this is a character of experiment, right? Few people may be interested to experiment something. So that is one kind of interest. So you need to analyze what your interest is. So aptitude, personality, and interest, that's nothing but your ability, your characteristics, and your liking or your willingness are the three most important things that you need to keep in your mind while choosing a career, right? Now, we will be getting into the another important segment of this area called, food for thoughts. I'm going to ask you a few questions, and you must be able to tell yes, no, could be, possibly, or you may say, I know, I don't know, or you're confused. So I'm going to give you now, every child in home, whoever is watching this particular program right now, everybody may have a career query that's been discussed at home, right? So I have taken few examples in the past experience. Wherever I see whatever kinds of problem has raised, I have made it to be a question, and I've also given a suggestion to that question, or an answer I can say to that question. But you need to ask yourself, the suggestion that I've given is right or not. Something may be right, something may not be wrong, but these are just food for thoughts. I'm just putting some thoughts for your thinking, right? Now take a few examples. Now, if there is a student called Rakesh, let me give you an example. Rakesh is in class 12. He does not enjoy studying physics and mathematics. Can he become a successful mechanical engineer? Imagine the situation. Maybe Rahul's father wanted him to become a mechanical engineer because Rahul's father goes to a job, goes to work, and somebody in his office told something extremely high about mechanical engineering. It's a very good course, it's a very good field to be in, agreed. But listening to his peers at office, he comes back and he puts pressure on Rakesh to say, I want you to become a mechanical engineer. But Rakesh does not perform, nor he really enjoys studying mechanical engineering. Now, when a student is not performing well in physics and mathematics, will he be a successful person pursuing mechanical engineering? I don't want to give the answer. You think about it, right? Yes or no? Second scenario, Vinay is a shy-natured and introvert boy. Very sweet boy. He's very shy-natured and he's an introvert. He takes a long time to mingle with people. It doesn't happen for him in no seconds. Now, will a career in sales and marketing go well with him? Do you think it'll work? Sales and marketing is a job where you need to go to people, shake hands, talk, make bonds, bond friendship between people, and able to try to sell the product or service in no time. Where an introvert boy, quite shy nature, not really comfortable to mingle with people, considering a career in sales and marketing, is it the right choice? You can think about it. The third option I can give you, I have 9 such stories. Third story. Suraj is quite creative and excellent in sketching. He sketches so well. He can draw well. He's good in painting. He's good in drawing. He's good in sketching. But he is not enjoying his commerce at school. He's a commerce student, for example. He's not really enjoying his commerce at all. But his friends are advising to become chartered accountant. So, as I told you in the past, peer pressure. His friends wanted to do him CA, but he's not at all enjoying this commerce, but his skills are able to draw and sketch and paint. So will he perform well in CA is definitely a question. It's a food for thought. Few more. Radha is very happy, an outspoken girl. She feels she can't keep up secrets in life. She likes to talk to people. She's a very open-ended person. She is not an introvert. She's very much an extrovert. She can, bang on and make friends in no time. A very lively, happy girl. And she can't keep up secrets in life. Can she become a detective? Question. Ask yourself. Diksha is excellent in her science subjects, and she loves to work with machines. She's good in physics, she's good in mathematics, and she likes science. She loves studying science. But her uncle is asking her to consider, or her family is asking her to consider a career in IAS because the family thinks that's the most pride job on the planet Earth. But then what happens to her skill of physics and math, or what happens to her feelings for her machines? What will happen if she takes IAS? Next one. Nikhil is highly imaginative and creative. He is good, and he's good as an artist too. But he doesn't enjoy science at school. He doesn't enjoy science at school, but he's creative. He's good at art. Will interior design be a good choice for him? Probably it could be a great choice. Next, last three stories. Santosh is a quite interested in analyzing and interpreting data. He always works with numbers. He always works with data. He's very good in analysis. He's very good in calculations. He's very good in interpreting whatever he has analyzed. How about a career in business management and CA? Will it work for him? High possibility it may work for him because he's good in data, he's good in interpreting data, he's good in assessing data, he's good in management. Definitely, it may be a great choice. Dia loves to help her friends and family always. She loves staying indoors and has a great sense of organization. How about a career in teaching and home science? She likes to stay indoors and she always likes to help her family and her friends. And why not a career in teaching or home science? Maybe it's a good choice. Kushi is an easygoing girl. She's moderately organized and takes impulsive decisions. But will a research related career be advisable for her? I don't think so, because impulsive decisions in research is not a great choice to do. Now, what I've given you are just examples or thoughts. They're not real stories. So you may also have a similar situation at home, but you need to think before you take a call, because all these questions I've posted here either has an aptitude problem, or it has a personality problem, or it has an interest problem. Somebody is interested to do something, but somebody is forcing them to something where their aptitude is not good. Somebody has a great aptitude in something, but they're not interested in something, but somebody is forcing them to fulfill their interest. These are the career crackers that happen at home generally. So while you start answering for all these questions, definitely your thoughts will be a little awakened, right? Now you can ask me a question. Understood. Then how do I understand my aptitude, personality, and interest? Is there a way I can understand my aptitude and personality and interest? Yes, of course, there's a great way. And we have scientific tools today in today's world to assess your API, we call aptitude, personality, and interest. So for that, let's understand a little bit about this aptitude, personality, and interest a little more. And then let's get into how do we ensure we assess it. Let's take aptitude, for example, where I told you in the past, it's nothing but an innate or acquired capacity to perform something. There are fundamentally 5 aptitudes a student needs to test on himself. They are nothing but numerical aptitude, verbal aptitude, mechanical aptitude, spatial aptitude, and reasoning aptitude. Now, I want to spend 2 or 3 seconds on all of this aptitude and see or ask yourself what amongst these aptitude is comfortable for you, right? The first aptitude is numerical, which says about mathematical concepts, talks about comfort with numbers. Few people are very comfortable with numbers in math. That's, if you're good at it, it's numerical aptitude is good for you. There's something called verbal aptitude. People are very comfortable with languages, concepts, and ease to communicate. They are good in learning languages soon. They're good in writing, reading, speaking, whatsoever. Mechanical aptitude, people who like to work with machines and understand machine concepts. Spatial aptitude, if you're good in geometry at your school, if you're able to work out something well in geometry, there is a possibility that you may be good in spatial aptitude, reasoning aptitude, rational and logical concepts. Have you seen your son or daughter playing a Rubik's Cube very well? Are they able to solve a Rubik's Cube in no time? There is a high probability they may be strong in reasoning aptitude. Now, any career, in the beginning of the session, I told you there are about 600 career choices to choose from. You take any 600 career choices that I was talking about, you need either one or multiple aptitudes just within this 5 aptitudes only. There's no, you don't have to really break your mind to go to 6th or 7th aptitude. Within the 5 aptitudes, all the 600 careers will demand one or multiples of this 5 aptitudes only. You need to know what aptitude are you good at. Let's go to the second one. Personality. I told you about character. What kind of a character you are? 5 personality characters. One is learning orientation, interpersonal orientation, emotional orientation, attitudinal orientation, consciousness orientation. Learning orientation is nothing but openness to experience something new. Interpersonal, are you what kind of a person? Those are just examples, an introvert, extrovert, etc. Emotional orientation, how emotionally balanced are you? Anxiety things and stress. It's not that if a person has an anxiety, he's psychologically disordered. It's not like that. Every person has, I know, anxiety and stress disorders. It's all, there are temporary anxiety and temporary stress disorder. So I'm meaning something of that sort. So what kind of a person are you in general? Attitudinal orientation is agreeableness. Are you ready to face something new in life? Are you ready to accept new kind of system, new kind of formula, new kind of interpretations? So how do you, behave with these new things, and how agreeable are you to these new scenarios? Talks about attitudinal orientation. The last one is consciousness orientation. It's about decision-making skills, the values that you hold, and the focus that you have. All of this talks about consciousness orientation. Nobody can say, I am good in learning orientation. I am good in, it's not like that. Everybody belongs to this 5 orientation, but we need to see which of the, in all of these 5 orientations, where do you really lean to? Are you leaning towards the lesser part of this orientation, or you're leaning towards the higher part of this orientation is the question that has to be raised fundamentally. The last one is interest. 6 interests to understand about: realistic, investigative, artistic, social, enterprising, and conventional. Realistic orientation, realistic interest is something people who like doing things physically. Even if you're good in sports, that can also be to some extent considered to realistic, because people who like to do physical things, where they like to put their body also to work, not just mind. And that was one example when I told you, if your child had, you had given a toy to your son or your daughter, if they had, break over it and they want to really go inside and see, this is one of the good ways where they like to do things with hand, and that also belongs to investigative, because they want to understand what is there inside. Okay, investigative are people who are thinkers, who likes to investigate, ask questions and everything. Artistic orientation, people who can appreciate art. It could be drawing, sketching, painting, etc. Social, people who are great helpers. Enterprising, people who are persuaders. If that person goes and talks to that another person, they can easily persuade them. Sales and marketing, for example. Or it could be politics needs this skill, and business people needs this skill to persuade their idea or thoughts to another party or another person. Conventional, people who are quite organized. Very few children, you see they're quite organized in the thing. You see the study table, it's quite organized. You see the school bag, it's quite organized. You see the shelf, it's quite organized. Even the behavior of them is quite organized. So that's conventional. Now you need to see which of these 6 interests you hold. Are you a realistic person or an artistic person, conventional, social, enterprising, investigative? You need to understand what interest do you own or hold strong to. Now, I explained to you about aptitude, personality, interest, and I kept telling you, what are you good at? Which amongst this you belong to? Which amongst this is comfortable for you? I kept asking you this question. Automatically, when I keep telling this to you, one question raises up. So I understood everything. I understood aptitude, personality, and interest. Now, how do I test myself? How do I know what is my aptitude? What is my interest? What is my personality? Now, in today's time, and it's been a very long practice how we can solve this problem. I think at least for the last 50 to 60 years, we have been solving this problem, but it was all manual those days. But right now, using technology, we can do this assessment of your aptitude, personality, interest in no time. And we otherwise call it as a psychometric test. I don't know how many of you have heard of this word called psychometric test. Psychometric test is a world popular test, where psychometric tests are used for multiple reasons of assessing a human being's behavior, thought process, thinking, ability, disability, strengths, weaknesses, etc., etc., etc. So psychometric test is even used by HR, a human resource manager who's sitting in a company to hire somebody. Even there, they may use a psychometric test. But here, the psychometric test I'm talking about is to assess a student who's about to choose a career in no time, which is maybe another 1 year, 2 year, or 3 year, or even 1 or 2 months, who's having a career decision to make, and that person wants to know themselves. They can use the platform called a psychometric test to assess themselves, to understand what is their aptitude, personality, and interest, and based on that, they will be able to take an informed career choice. Okay, so career psychometric test is about a 2 hours or 2 hours 30 minutes test. We will be asking you lots of questions. The question may not be from your academics. Please try to understand this. You're not prepared for this test. It's not a test of preparation. It's not a board exam. It's not your. This is a natural test. A question is asked to you. How would you respond to it? If a situation is given to you, how will you take a decision on it? If a question is given to you, how will you really want to handle that question? So it is a very natural test, an innate test that you're supposed to take. And about, I would say, 170 or 180 questions are asked. I need to keep responding to that question. And we will tell you, by putting all together, we will be able to tell you what is your aptitude, personality, and interest, followed by, if this is your aptitude, if this is your personality, if this is your interest, what career choices may be good for you. They will give you the list of career choices that you can choose from, right? So then, followed by psychometric test, the most important aspect one should consider is career guidance, right? Now, if you have fever, you go to a doctor. If you have a accounts problem in your business, you go to a chartered accountant. If you're hungry and you're not ready to cook food, you go to a restaurant. You have a solution for every problem you have in your life. The same way, if you have a career related issue, there are professional career guides. I am a professional career guide, for example. So there are professional career guides out there in the market where you can go and talk to them, tell your queries. They will scientifically assess you, and they have lots of career related information, and they will assess you, suggest you to tell what can you really do about the career which is waiting for you, right? So career guidance is a very important step. So the first step is psychometric test. You take the test, assess yourself, get a report of your aptitude, personality, interest. Now take this report and come to a career guide and ask him, so this is the report that I've got. What do you think I should do in my career further? And can you please suggest me something? So professional career guides are important. My dear students, many people try to become career guides. You know, your neighbors, your cousins, your brothers. I'm not telling anything wrong about it. They're concerned for you, so they suggest for you, but they're not professionals. It's as much as you're having fever, you're asking your neighbor to suggest you what medicines you can take. It's not going to work like that, right? So you go to a doctor because he knows what it is, how your body works, how your human body works. The same way, career professionals are people who has tons and tons of career information, and they know the procedure to handle a career crisis or career requirement or a career doubt or a career confusion scientifically, and they can suggest you what is to be done further from there, right? Now, I've also given you what can be a next step. If somebody wanted, if already decided in your career is so clear about what your career is going to be, no problem. But if you're still in confusion, okay, if you're still in confusion, you don't really know what to do, you wanted help, the first step is psychometric test, second step is explore careers, and third step is to talk to a career guide. You can fundamentally do this. Now we are coming to the most important area. I will complete this in the next 10 minutes. I know that I wanted to complete in 1:30, but information is more important. Let me take another 10 minutes or 15 minutes to complete it. So fundamentally, if you see in our country, there are 21 career clusters. So you can try to make this 23 also, you can try to make this 19 also, but I have categorized, or we can fundamentally categorize into 21 different career clusters. And this 21 different career clusters, has about 500 plus career choices to choose from. Don't you think it's quite daunting? 500 career choices to choose from. So from this 21 clusters. So science, commerce, arts, and neutral careers, I have divided them. So you can see what is there in science careers. If you are a student who's in class 10, 11, 12, if you want to take science, or students who are currently in class 12 already and want to take science, these many career choices are there. Medical sciences, agriculture and food sciences, architecture and planning, allied medical sciences, information technology, engineering, all of this are few options. They are career clusters, they are not careers. Inside every single career cluster, there are multiple more options. In commerce, is fundamentally I can put it into business management or finance and banking or sales and marketing. Coming to arts, you have legal services, government and defense, humanities and social science, and journalism. Neutral careers. Neutral careers means either you take arts or you take science or you take commerce, you will be able to apply for any of these careers. They are performing arts, mass communication, animation and graphics, art and design, hospitality and tourism, education and teaching, fitness and well-being, etc. So quickly, so if you know, in medical sciences, there are about minimum 200, or I could say about 400 careers minimum to choose from fundamentally. In medical sciences, there are about 25 plus choices. Agriculture and food science are 10 plus choices. I will be sending this presentation to you. I will circulate this on WhatsApp. You can look into this. I've also told how many choices are there within every single career option that you see here fundamentally. So in commerce, in business management, there are 15 plus choices, finance and banking, 15 plus choices, sales and marketing, 10 plus choices. And even in the humanities, guys, you need to know something about humanities area. Very important information for parents and students to know about humanities. Humanities and arts are most, I would say in current situation, a career of disrespect, but it deserves a lot of respect. It has a lot of career options. And humanities and arts are not for people who are not performing well in 10th. That's not the case. So generally in India, we have a very, 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 very bad habit. The bad habit is that if a student crosses 95%, he's meant for science. If a student is 80 to 90 or 70 to 90, then he's meant for commerce. If it's less than 70, is for arts. No, it is not that way at all. You are mistaken. And in fact, science and arts and humanities has as equal as options what science has. And there's so many opportunities that science has, which you really need to realize. And when we do a personal one-to-one counseling, if you're really wanting to come to me, then I will explain you the career choice available in art, science, and commerce in detail, right? So neutral careers, you can see what is there in the screen. So many options out there. And I've also given how many number of career options are there within all of this as well. Okay, so we have, what we have done for you, let me quickly tell you, is that now you may be quite daunting to understand. There are so many things. How would I understand? How is this going to work and everything? So I am associated with iDream Career, a platform which has excellent amount of information about multiple careers. We can also always give you a dashboard like this, where every single 21 careers that I've mentioned in the past has tabs here. Say, for example, let me take a very wild example and very wild tab where I'm choosing engineering and technology here. The moment I click engineering and technology, it shows so many options available under engineering and technology. You're able to see aeronautical engineering, agriculture engineering, biotechnology engineering, civil engineering, food engineer, industrial engineer, okay, mining engineer, nuclear engineer, lots and tons of engineering options available here. Now let me basically get into one particular engineering industry and show you what information we have. We can get into civil engineering, and in that civil engineering, you will be able to see the amount of career options available there within the subdivisions of that, I can say. So information about this is a sneak peek about the engineering career. What is it there in that career? What kind of specializations are there? What kind of career pathway? If you want to become a civil engineer, what you should have done in class 10, what you must do in class 12, and what degree should you do, and what masters can you do? All of that information, what kind of packages they may get, what kind of companies can hire them, what is the minimum amount you may have to spend on civil engineer to study civil engineering, what is the maximum amount you may have to spend on civil engineering, or top 10 colleges in the country, top 10 colleges abroad, how to apply for these colleges, how to get scholarship for these colleges. Like that, for every single career, for approximately, I would say about 500 career information are put here in detail. So whatever career option you have in your mind, you'll be able to come here, open here, and check, see, and analyze how well you can get the information that you fundamentally want, right? So I've taken 10 more minutes than my general promise. I'm sorry for that. It's already 1:40. Hope the session was useful. Yeah, so people who are wanted to know how to connect with us, I can again just open one quick, I would say, the presentation where my number is already mentioned in there. Okay, my teammate's number is already mentioned in there. You can just take down that number and you can call. You can see on the screen this number is there. Please make a note of it. And the number is 734921750. Okay, 734921750. Please call this number if you have any queries, and we will have a lot of such videos that will be coming in the further days. So ensure you subscribe for this channel. You'll get a lot of career related information. You'll get a lot of stream related information, scope related information, entrance exam related information. You'll get a lot of information here on. You will not get that information if you don't subscribe it and put your bell button on. So do subscribe it, and we'll try to help you as much as possible in the coming lectures and in the coming webinars. Thank you one and all for participating. Thank you so much. And I would like to end this meeting. Last but not least, I would like to appreciate and thank you everyone, whoever was a part of spreading this information. 500 people have attended the seminar, which is a good number. I again, thank Mr. Raghu, who took a very big lead in sending this across 150 plus WhatsApp groups across the country to make this happen. Thank you, Mr. Raghu, for your support, help, and your service. Thank you very much.
Everyone were asking who